Lesson 11, solving problems using quadratic models. So for example 1, an engineer describes an arch with the function h of x equals negative 0.005061 x squared plus 0.499015x. Determine the distance between the base of the arch to the nearest tenth of a meter. Determine the maximum height of the bridge. So what we want to find is the x-intercepts and the vertex. So let's write out our function. This one is really easy to factor because there's an x in each of them. So we're just going to divide the whole thing by x. So 0 is equal to x, negative 0.005061, x minus 0.499015. So either x, this will be 0, or this will be 0. So x could either equal 0, or x could equal negative 0.005061, or 0 could equal, minus 0.49915. So we have to solve for this, so we're going to add 0.499015 to both sides. And then we're going to divide by negative 0.005061 from both sides. So we get 98.6 is equal to x. So let me just erase a couple things. So either x equals 98.6 or it equals 0. Okay. So if you were to draw this arch, we know that it hits the ground at 0 and 98.6. So we want to find the axis of symmetry so we can find the vertex and find the maximum height. So we already know the distance of the bridge is 98.6. So 0 plus 98.6 divided by 2 is 49.3. So this is 49.3. So we want to plug that into our equation. So the height of 49.3 is equal to negative 0.00561 times 49.3 squared plus, I have no room, 0.499015 times 49.3. So you should get this to equal 12.3. So the maximum height of the bridge is 12.3 meters. So the bridge is 98.6 meters long with a height of 12.3 meters. Determine the three consecutive odd integers if the square of the largest integer is 33 less than the sum of the squares of the two smaller integers. So let's let 2x plus 1 equal an odd number. So if we have 2x plus 1, if we add 2x plus 2, that makes an even number. So 2x plus 3 would be the next odd number. And it can go the other way. So we get 2x and 2x minus 1. So these are our odd numbers. So we want to have the square of the biggest, so 2x plus 3, is 33 less than the other two squared. So we're going to have to add 33 to it to make it as big as the other smaller numbers squared. So we're going to want to use the quadratic formula, so we're going to simplify. So 2x plus 3 times 2x plus 3 plus 33 is equal to 2x minus 1 times 2x minus 1 plus 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1. When you distribute this all out, we have 4x squared plus 12x, so 6x plus 6x, plus 9, plus 33 is equal to 4x squared. Then we have minus 2x is minus 4x, plus 1, plus 4x squared, plus 2x is 4x, plus 1. Now we're going to simplify. So on the left side, we should simplify it down to 4x squared plus 12x plus 42. And on this side, this x will cancel this x, so we should have 4x squared, 8x squared, and 1 plus 1 is 2. Now we're going to move it to the other side. So we have minus 8x squared minus 2, minus 8x squared minus 2. So we're left with minus 4x squared plus 12x plus 40 equals 0. So actually, we should be able to factor. So I'm just going to erase so we have room to factor and solve. So we're going to divide everything by negative 4. And we're going to divide the 0 by negative 4 too. So we should be left with x squared minus 3x minus 10. Blank plus blank equals negative 3. Blank times blank equals negative 10. And negative 5 times positive 2 will work. So we have x minus 5, x plus 2 equals 0. So either x minus 5 equals 0 or x plus 2 equals 0. So x is either 5 or x is equal to negative 2. Now we need to find our consecutive odd integers. So remember they were 2x minus 1, 2x plus 1, and 2x plus 3. So we're going to do it first with x equals negative 2. So we have 2 times negative 2 minus 1, 2 times negative 2 plus 1, and 2 times negative 2 plus 3. And you should get negative 5, negative 3, and negative 1. So 2 times negative 2 is negative 4, minus 1 is negative 5, 2 times negative 2 is negative 4, plus 1 is negative 3, 2 times negative 2 is negative 4, plus 3 is negative 1. So our first set of consecutive odds are negative 5, negative 3, and 1. Now we're going to do it with 5, so 2 times 5 minus 1, 2 times 5 plus 1, and 2 times 5 plus 3. So 2 times 5 is 10, minus 1 is 9, 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11, 2 times 5 is 10, plus 3 is 13. So either your numbers are negative 5, negative 3, and negative 1, or 9, 11, and 13. Synchronized swimmers dive off of a platform that is 10 meters high. So let's draw our platform. We know it's 10 meters high. And they jump off, jump into the water. And we know that they reach their maximum height of 0.6 meters, and the time is 0.35 seconds. So that's our vertex. We want to find how long it takes to reach the water. So we want to find x when y is 0. So we're going to put it into vertex graphing form. So y equals a, x minus p squared plus q. We know p is 0.35 and q is 0.6. We don't know a, but we know that we have a point here of 0 and 10. At 0 seconds, he's 10 meters high. So 0 is x, y would be 10. Okay, let's plug this into the equation and solve for a. So y is 10 equals a, x is 0, minus 0.35 squared, plus 0.6. So we get that we're going to minus 0.6 from each side. And by 0.6, I mean 10.6. Because there's 0.6 meters above the platform. So that's 10.6 meters. So minus 10.6 from each side, and we have negative 0.6 is equal to 0.1225a. So if you type in negative 3.5 squared, you get 0.1225. So we're going to divide by 1225. and we get negative 4898 point is equal to A. So we know y is equal to negative 4.898 x minus 0.35 squared plus 10.6. So there's our formula. So we want to figure out when x is, or find x for when y is 0. So we're going to plug in a 0 for y. So 0 is equal to negative 4.898 x minus 0.35 squared. So what we're going to do is we're going to isolate our squared term. So we're going to minus 10.6 from both sides. So we have minus 10.6 is equal to negative 4.898 x minus 0.35 squared. And we're going to divide by negative 4.898. And we get 2.164 is equal to x minus 0.35 squared. So I'm just stop there, and I'm going to erase and go back and work up at the top. To isolate our variable, we're going to take the square root of both sides. So we have the square root of 2.164. And when we do this, we have to find both the positive and negative, because there's two possible solutions that you could have. So on the left side, we have x minus 0.35. And on the right side, we have plus or minus the square root of 2.164. Then we're going to add 0.35 to both sides. So we have 0.35 plus or minus the root of 2.164 is equal to x. Now obviously if we subtract, that's not going to work. So we're only going to do the positive. So we're going to do 0.35 plus the root of 2.164 because you can't have a negative time. So if you type this into your calculator, you should get 1.821 is equal to x. So the divers will hit the water at about 1.82 seconds after the jump. Any way you want to write that sentence. Example 3. At noon, a sailboat leaves a harbor and travels due west at 10 kilometers per hour. So 10 times some kind of hour. And 3 hours later, another sailboat leaves and it goes 15 miles per hour. So it's times x minus the 3 hours because it's 3 hours less. So we want to find when they're 40 meters apart. So we want to find x is equal to our time. So this is a right triangle, so we can use Pythagorean theorem. So 10x squared plus 15x minus 3 squared is equal to 40 squared. And we want to solve for x. So we're going to isolate x. So 100x squared is equal to 15x, distribute in, minus 45 squared equals 1600. So we're going to, this is supposed to be a plus sign, we're going to multiply 15x minus 45 twice. So we have 100x squared plus 225x squared minus 675x minus 675x plus 2025 equals 1600. So we're going to minus 1600 from both sides, and we're going to simplify, and we should simplify it to 325x squared minus 1350x plus 425. And we want to simplify this a little bit further so that we can use the quadratic formula. So we're going to divide everything by 25. So we should get 13x squared minus 54x plus 17 is equal to 0. So here's our formula, and we're going to use the quadratic formula. This is our equation. We're going to use the formula to solve for x. So a equals 13, b equals negative 54, c equals 17. So x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of a b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So x is equal to negative 54 plus or minus the square root of negative 54 squared minus 4 times 13 times 17. Always remember, if it's a negative b, to put it in brackets so that you change it to a positive. So x is equal to 54 plus or minus, simplify the radicand, and you should get 2032 divided by 26. So x is either equal to 54 plus the root of 2032 over 26, or x is either equal to 54 minus the square root of 2032 divided by 26. So if you type the first one into your calculator, you should get x to equal 3.810 ... If you type the second one into your calculator, you should get x is equal to 0.343. Now this one won't work because this boat waits 3 hours before it leaves. So it cannot leave at 0.3 hours. So this is our answer. So we need to figure out what time that is. So if the boat left at noon, I'll just erase some of this. If the boat left at 12 o'clock noon, in 3.810 hours, they will be 40 apart. So we need to change 0.810 into minutes. So we're going to times it by 60. And you should get 49 minutes. So 3 hours and 49 minutes later, at 3:49, they are 40 kilometers, not meters, apart. Don't forget that 0.81 does not mean 81 minutes. It's 0.81 of 60 minutes. Don't forget that.